Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone everywhere in between. I am a Spectrum D, but you may also call me Lewis, and I'm joined by SixMysta Johnathan for a hypothetical discussion video based upon the idea of a Fortnite season themed after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is an idea we could easily build upon in a second part to this video, given its scope. But for now, let's begin with the big guns, or rather, just the guns in general.
And to start things off, we will be starting off with the weapons for the season, since they would be the first thing the player is introduced to. And this season, we'll be bringing back a lot of old guns we haven't seen in a while, both fitting certain scenes from JoJo's, but also keeping the Fortnite feel in mind. For light ammo, we'll be running pistols, revolvers, and suppressed machine guns. While for medium ammo, we will be running suppressed assault rifles and legacy tactical assault rifles. While for shotgun shells, we have the stake launcher shotgun to meet the vampire thematic of JoJo's, and the lever action shotgun, just because it's been a while. And for sniper rifles, we're going with the hunter bolt action rifle, being one of the best rifles we've seen in the game since its release.
Next up are the bosses you will find on the map. We have Dio, as depicted in Stardust Crusaders, Yoshikage Kira, as depicted in Diamond is Unbreakable, and Ultimate Cars, as depicted at the end of Battle Tendency. We also have an additional character known as Dio Zero, who serves as an end-of-season boss. Dio, Yoshikage, and Cars would all drop a medallion, each containing unique items with tide-turning powers. But we've not got to those yet, trust me, we will. As for Dio Zero, well, he's part of something bigger we'll get to soon. For the NPCs, we have Will A. Zeppeli, Lisa, or Elizabeth Joestar if you prefer, Jotaro Kujo, Giorno Giovanna, and Jolene Kujo. Like other NPCs before them, these characters will roam across certain areas of the island and will have items available to buy varying in rarity. Though they will fight back if they're attacked, utilizing what they would have sold to the player as a weapon. The healing, shield, recovery, and mobility items are a simple matter. You have the medkit, small and large shield potions, slap splashes, and slurp splashes. And for mobility, the player is given impulse grenades and hop floppers. There's not really any need for further explanation here, so I'll let Six proceed onto the items the player would find on the island.
For map items, or as some might call them, the crossover items, we have an array of JoJo-themed mythics, legendaries, and epics we think would do well as a means of entertainment and interaction during the crossover period. Starting this off at the top, we have the mythics, which consist of the World Medallion, the Killer Queen Medallion, and the Red Stone of Aja Medallion, which all drop from their respective bosses, each having a unique ability. Starting off with the World Medallion, which grants you the ability to use a harvesting tool to create a stand barrage as a left click, dealing similar damage to the recent Nitro Fist item, and the right click freezing players in a certain radius for about 5 seconds, with a considerable cooldown to match. Next up is the Killer Queen Medallion, which takes up an item slot and holds 2 main abilities. The first, a left click attack, which sends an explosive shot through Bites the Dust, throwing a silver coin at an enemy with 3 charges that recharges within a few seconds, and it functions very similar to the Nabara Curse technique from the JJK crossover. And the right click attack that allows you to spawn Sheer Heart Attack into the map that will lock on to nearby players to create an AoE explosion with similar effects and damage to an RPG, while also marking nearby enemies with the locator symbol, having a 1-minute cooldown to balance it out. And last but not least, we do have the Red Stone of Aja Medallion, which has a very similar effect to the current Doom Island in the Marvel crossover, with this medallion dropping all items in the inventory and giving the player the following abilities. A left click, depending on if grounded or in the air, causes a melee attack working similar to Black Panther gauntlets. The right click allows the user to rip up an area of ground around them, sending enemies into the sky to take fall damage, and has about a 15-second cooldown. while double tapping the jump button allows the user to fly a short distance. And lastly, kills with this medallion equipped give you a special form of siphon that heals your health, but not your shields. Also, unlike the other two medallions, this medallion cannot be held along with the others. For the legendary items, we have Jonathan's Hamon. Its left click allows for a rapid attack, while holding right click heals your health and can be bought from Will Zappelli on the map. And Caesar's Hamon, whose left click launches bubbles similar to waterbending from the Avatar crossover, and holding right click restores shields, but it does sadly cap at 75% and can be bought from Lisa on the map. The epics though aren't actually lacking, since they contain the Stone Mask, allowing for melee attacks that siphon on opponents when killing them with it, and can be found at a crash site around the map, along with the option of stand arrows. The Platinum Stand Arrow, which can also be bought from Jotaro on the map, has a left click, which is a melee attack that also replicates the abilities of the Nitro Fist, and its right click freezes nearby enemies for 3 seconds in a time stop, with a 45-second cooldown. The Golden Experience Stand Arrow, bought from Giorno, offers an AoE healing effect for you and your group that can bring you up to full health and 50% shields by holding the right click, which has a 60-second cooldown. And finally, the Stone Free Stand Arrow, which is bought from Jolene, has a left click which shoots strings at an opponent with 3 charges and a short cooldown, while the right click has a similar effect to the Grappling Blade, which wraps up crossover items.
Now we move on to the major cosmetics, particularly those one would find in the passes. For the main battle pass, we have versions of Jotaro Kujo and Dio, covering their Part 3 designs and Jotaro's Part 4 design. Next we have skins for a little mini pass, much like the Pirates of the Caribbean and Avatar The Last Airbender ones. This pass would contain all of the Pillarmen and some other miscellaneous items. The player would get access to cars, AC/DC, and Wamu, and when the pass is finished, the player will get access to the Ultimate Cars skin. For the bonus pass, the player is able to get Jotaro's Stone Ocean outfit, and a version of Jonesy wearing Robert E.O.'s Speedwagon suit, and then a later version based on the Speedwagon uniform from either Part 3 or Part 4. For the crest rewards, these will specifically be allotted to unique designs based on Jotaro and Dio Zero. These latter skins relate to the character's involvement in the lore of Fortnite itself, as this is a hypothetical season concept rather than a mere cosmetic set. A crossover-based character tends to have some sort of representation in the underground team. Do forgive me, I did do research, but there are a lot of different allegiances in the Fortnite lore, so I don't know if calling them the underground is correct or not. Do feel free to correct me. Moving on to the minor cosmetics, we'll just go through the few we have since there's so much potential. For the back blings, I've elected to go with Cheap Trick as a back bling, Iggy, who serves as more of a pet than a back bling, and a miniature version of Dio's Road Roller. For harvesting tools, I opted to go with the road sign that Dio almost knocked Jotaro's head off with, and an item called the Arm of Platinum, which is basically just Star Platinum's arm turned into a melee weapon. You could have an alternative style based on the world or any of Star Platinum's other appearances. For emotes, I think it's better if I just read them out by name. They're pretty easy to figure out for the JoJo fans. They are named Re, Oh No, Torture Dance, which is interactive and 3 players can partake in it at once, Caesar, a Stand Clash, which is also interactive and 2 players can partake, and Slurpy Snorkel. For those who remember Jean-Pierre's encounter with the wish-granting stand that I can't remember the name of at the time of recording this, the aftermath of that was peculiar. How do I describe it? Let's just say that out of everyone you wouldn't expect Mohammed to be the immature one. For sprays, we've got the menacing kanji, the Joestar birthmark, and the Morio Town symbol. In this video, we've covered what one could expect for the main event, from weapons to NPCs to cosmetics attainable within the game itself. However, if this video is received well and people want to see it, we are willing to expand on this idea and cover the general narrative of this hypothetical event, as well as what accompanying wearables we'd expect to see in the item shop.
And with that, our short video on a JoJo Fortnite crossover will be coming to an end. If you are perhaps interested in seeing future content like this with other anime being covered in Fortnite, or if you would like to see a story that progresses on the island during this crossover for JoJo's, and even want to see things like a map or all sorts of crazy stuff like our store pass or mini pass, all sorts of things we didn't cover in this video, make sure to leave a comment down below. Also, if you're interested in any voice acting work here on the Forge, we also have a separate series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which we are currently looking for voice actors for. There will be a link down in the description of this video if you're interested in contacting me or Spectrum about that. But without further ado, this has been the Fiction Forge. Farewell.
Let us guide you